Hello everyone, thank you so much for taking some time off your work schedule to join this webinar. I'm Meenakshi Sundaram, one of the product marketers for Zoho Vault, and today I'll be running you through this session. We'll be talking a lot about Zoho Vault's new browser extension and all the new features that it includes, how it looks, how it works, and I see that almost 50% of you have not tried the new extension. I'm just projecting the poll results right now. So yeah, almost 40% of you have not tried the new extension. Let's quickly see how you can get the best out of this new update, how you can manage your personal as well as your business passwords better, and see how you can improve your overall productivity as well. So let's just quickly step into the agenda first. So we'll be taking a quick overview of Zoho Vault's new browser extension. We'll see all about its new features and the enhancements that it offers. And then we'll help you with a few customization tips that should be helpful for you, especially if you're using Zoho Vault for your business. And after that, we'll be talking about a few common questions that people have asked us over the few months, and we'll also give you answers to that. Finally, I'll be opening up for an open Q&A session, and do stay back until the end of the session and give us your feedback. We'll be taking all your feedback to our team, and we'll see if we can incorporate any of your feedback in some way or the other to make the extension better as well. Alright, so let's get started. If you're very new to Zoho Vault's browser extension, if you've not installed it already, here's how you can do it. I've taken Google Chrome as an example here, but the new extension is available for Chrome, Vivaldi, Brave, and Firefox. So you can see all the download links at the bottom of your screen. You can access that particular store from the links below. And once you land on the page, click on Add to Chrome. So this will help you add that particular extension to Chrome. Click Add Extension from the prompt that displays all the permissions that Vault requires to function normally. Once you're done, you'll have to pin your extension first. So lately, all the extensions that you download to your Google Chrome browser, that gets hidden under the extension section in your address bar. So ensure that you pin your browser extension so that it prompts or it's displayed properly at the end of your address bar, like you can see on the right side of your screen. So once you're done with pinning the extension, you can unlock your extension with a master password. That's all yours. So that's it. That's how simple it is. So once you're done installing the extension, you'll get a brand new feel of Zoho's browser extension. So people who've previously used that extension would probably identify the update that's gone out. So for the new people who are trying the extension, you'll know that the extension is a lot faster than it used to be, and you will be able to access all your critical stuff right from the extension. So for example, you can generate a new password for your new sign-ins, for your new sign-ups. You can access all your passwords quickly, and also the new version is redesigned in a way where it matches the theme of your web application as well. So it gives you this overall sleek look as well as great accuracy and a faster experience as well. So what all can you do from the browser extension? So for starters, you can add new passwords. You can copy saved passwords and usernames of particular entries that you have. You can view detailed insights on all the saved passwords. You can share passwords. You can move your passwords to trash if you don't want them. And more importantly, you can also auto log in directly to a website using the browser extension. So when you click auto login, you will be taken to that particular website. You'll be logged into that particular website without your manual intervention. So it's a pretty cool thing. If you don't already have the browser extension, you should consider downloading it right now. Probably not right now after the session's done. Anyhow, moving on. So one of the key features of the new update is the detail view. So we've moved a lot of the critical actions to a separate tab called the detail view. So whenever you try to add a new password, or when you try to share passwords, or Even if you try to edit passwords, we now take you to a new tab where you get cleaner access to your detail information. So when you try to add a new password, you can add all the necessary details right away. It prevents you from adding forms in the cramped pop-up. So it takes you to this new detail view, and it's also something that replicates whatever your web interface can do. The web application, uh, uh, most of the most of the things that you can probably achieve from the web application can be done from this detail view. So for example, you can share passwords, add new passwords, or even edit existing passwords from the detail view. And it's also very helpful because you wouldn't have to authenticate again with the web application uh, to do all these vital tasks. So you should definitely check this out if you haven't already. And the next thing is auto login. We've enhanced how auto login works. So we've ensured that the auto login works more seamlessly on a lot more websites than it used to previously. And we're also constantly enhancing this in our future updates as well. So even the update 1.86 for Chrome that's about to get released in about a week or two, it'll include an enhanced version of auto login. So we are constantly working on improving your auto login experience as well. So there are three ways in which you can auto login. One is using the auto login button from the extensions pop-up. Next, you can right click on the login fields. Okay, before that, you can click on the Zoho Vault icon and then select the entry and get auto logged into the website. And third, as you see on your screen, you can right click on the login fields and select the entry from Zoho Vault. You can either fill your password, fill your username, or you can just fill both your username and passwords at the same time, or just auto log in right away as well. Because certain websites don't allow users to automatically log in. So in such cases, you can use the right click option that will at least help you auto fill your passwords and username as well. Next, this is a new feature that's been available in our new interface over the last few months. You can also enjoy this feature from the browser extension right now. You can move passwords to trash instead of permanently deleting them. So once you move these passwords to trash, you can recover them later from the web interface right now. You'll not be able to access the trash from the extension right now. It's something that we're working on. It should be available in the upcoming updates. But yeah, you can move passwords to trash, and just in case you want them at a later stage, you can very well access them as well. And another key factor, this is probably a very minor feature, but let's say you're stepping away from your computer for about 15 minutes, and let's say you're just going away for a cup of coffee, but you don't want to log out from your extension because Zoho supports SSO, right? And I believe a lot of you have tried out different Zoho applications, or you probably use a lot of different Zoho applications on a daily basis. So because of the SSO, if you log out from the extension, you probably get logged out from all the Zoho services at the same time. To prevent that and to also ensure that your extension is locked, we have this new option to lock your vault. Click on your profile and click the button called lock. You can just safely lock your extension and step away from your system. Or even if you're done for the day and you just want to log in the next day, you can just lock your extension and you can just get get along with your work. All right, now on to some of the cool customizations that some of you might already know, but just in case you don't, is what you can do right now. So there's this feature called default filter that you can set for your extension. Let's say let's say you work from a different machine. Let's say you use a different machine or a different browser for your work and personal stuff. You can set a particular default filter. Let's say you want your extension to display only the enterprise passwords whenever you open it. You don't want it to display everything. You probably want to just display one particular folder or one particular filter every day. You can just go to settings, and from settings you can select a filter from the default filter section. And yeah, every time you access your passwords tab from then on, you'll be able to by default view that particular screen. So that's a cool thing that you can try out, and especially if you're using Vault for your business activities and you primarily work on passwords that belong to one or two folders, you can just go ahead and try this out. It's a pretty cool feature. And yeah, a lot of you face this issue as well. And I recently had a question from Josh who also faced this issue. Often when you don't change the default inactivity timeout in Vault, you'll be logged out of the extension. I mean, every time your extension's inactivity timeout is met, it'll get locked, meaning you'll have to enter your master password to either auto login or even to save new logins. So this is why people often experience issues stating that, hey, you know what, my extension does not auto login anymore. I do not see Zoho Vault's logo on the login fields that I can click on and auto login, or Zoho Vault does not detect my new logins anymore. So most of the times, what people do is they have extension timeout set to 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or 15 minutes. It's good to set such timeouts if you're not very comfortable with using that particular device. Let's say if that device is shared with multiple people, it's okay to use that timeout. It's okay to set 5, 10, or 15 minutes as your timeout. But let's say if you use a device that you really trust, if that's something that you always work with and don't let other people use, you can go ahead and even set your inactivity timeout to 1 week or even to 2 days or 1 day. So that's a good practice to ensure that your extension does not get timed out often. And also, it's important to enable the option that's called autofill passwords on subdomains. So whenever you enable that option, even if you access a subdomain of a particular URL that you've already saved in Vault, the extension will be able to relate that, you know what, this is the URL that I'm supposed to autofill these passwords in. So ensure that you always have the autofill passwords on subdomains enabled for better auto login experience. And this is a very underrated feature that you can make use of. So let's say you are being targeted by some imposter on the internet who's sending you an email that's probably focused on getting your credentials. Let's say you're under a phishing attack, and someone imitates your sysadmin saying, hey, you know what, your password has been expired, you should probably try resetting it right now. Since we are subconsciously uh, since we subconsciously often always click on the link and go ahead resetting it, since we don't really pay a lot attention when we see something that's familiar and something that happens on a regular basis, we might feel compelled to right away log in and enter the passwords. In such cases, to prevent you from doing so, whenever there are unsecure websites, whenever there are websites with the HTTP and not HTTPS, you can very well use the option called alert when autofilling on unsecure pages. So when you enable this option, whenever you autofill on a website that's not secure, the Vault's extension will tell you, hey, you know what, you're probably not supposed to autofill your passwords here. Are you sure you want to go ahead and do it still? So this prompt will help you keep your critical data and passwords in check, so that you don't fall prey to uh, such phishing attacks, and you can keep your accounts and logins safe as well. Ensure that these are enabled. They should probably be enabled by default, but just in case they aren't enabled, ensure that you go ahead and enable them as and uh, as required, because there are certain cases where people might use people might use internal applications that don't really have HTTPS as well. So I'll leave this to your I'll leave this to your discretion. You can just go ahead and evaluate this option and see if this best suits you. Okay, now on to some of the questions that people often ask us. So just in case you've been wondering about these as well, it might come handy. You might get to know what is happening in the background as well. Let's start with question 1. The extension fails to detect my login fields at times. Why does that happen? So, as I earlier mentioned, you can ensure that your inactivity timeout is not very low. That's one. And you can also ensure that you've enabled autofill on subdomains as well. And apart from that, there's another key factor that determines the smooth functioning of auto login, which is the login URL that you saved your password entry. So auto login works based on the URL that you've saved. So let's say you want to save the credential for your Twitter account. Instead of saving the URL as twitter.com, it's very important to note that you should probably be saving twitter.com/login. So you should always save the login URL and not just the plain URL of the account. That's probably one common mistake that people often always do. And second thing is, if the website's not allowing password managers to autofill passwords, that's another case. So commonly this can be witnessed on your banking websites. They often don't allow people to paste passwords, or sometimes they don't even allow third-party applications to autofill username or passwords in such fields. So during such cases, you might not be able to autofill your passwords. So these are probably some of the common reasons why the extension might not be able to autofill passwords for you. If you still feel that the extension does not autofill passwords for you, uh, in other cases as well, please do send out your feedback to support@zohovault.com. We'll be really happy to take a look at that and help you sort things out. All right, moving on. Whenever I restart my browser, I'm required to re-authenticate with the extension. How can I avoid that? So this is a good question. It's something that we get a lot. So currently, the designs implemented in such a way that you get locked out of your extension. That is, your master password gets cleared every time you close an active session. This is because we don't store your master password anywhere, and this is to ensure that your data is completely safe and the access of all your critical data is with you alone. Right now, there's no workaround, but there is something that we are exploring on other options, such as fingerprint based unlock as well, but these are in early stages. We are exploring these options, and we yet to come we are yet to come up with an update on that, but we really hope to implement such updates in the upcoming versions of our extension as well. So stay tuned. It's not something that's going to happen right away, but we are definitely looking into this as well. All right, moving on. Question 3. Can browser extensions be used in mobile browsers and tablet computers? Technically, yes, you can install certain extensions in your mobile phones or your tablet computers, but we would advise you to download our native mobile and iPad applications. We do support mobile applications for Android and iOS. We also have a dedicated iPad app, and we also let users access Vault from their iWatch as well. So if you have an Apple Watch, you can just go ahead and enable access to Vault from your Apple Watch as well. So these are things that you can make better use of. I'm not sure if you guys already have been using that. If you have, just drop a feedback in the question section. I'll be really happy to read about your feedback as well. Okay, question 4. We've got one more to go. So so if you guys really love the new updates and you're like very eager to try it out from your favorite browsers, which are Edge and Opera, just hold on for a couple more weeks. We're planning to launch these extensions for Edge and Opera very, very soon. And yeah, you'll probably be able to get the best out of our browser extension from the new from the browser of your choice as well. Okay, I think this is something that I've heard a lot from business admins. So business admins often want to know if they can enforce inactivity timeout for their employees extension. So if you're one of those business admins out there, you should be very excited to know that our next update includes options for admins to enforce inactivity timeout for all the users. So from your web interface, you'll be able to enable these options from the fine grain control section that you already see. So in about a week or two, when the next update goes live, probably you'll be able to access this option where you can set a common inactivity timer for your entire organization. Just in case you're afraid if your employees might be accessing all their critical passwords from unsecure networks, especially since a lot of us are working remotely right now, and you wouldn't be having extensive control over the devices that they have access to. This is something that you'll probably be excited to know about in the upcoming update. So this is something that we're working on in the next update, and not just that, we're also working on enhancing auto login even further. As I had earlier mentioned, that's another thing that's coming up in the next version. And yeah, we've also got minor enhancements going on, and we'll be ensuring that you get access to a lot of these features across your favorite browsers as well in about a couple of weeks from now. With that, I am done for today. You guys can go ahead and shoot your questions. I'll be very happy to answer a lot of them. I see we've got a few questions. I'm just going to quickly start answering them. Okay, I'll start with Devan Krishnan's question. Can we have multi-device support? So, Christian, you should know that you can access Vault across multiple devices. But if you're talking about accessing the extension, I mean using the extension to access multiple accounts, if that's something that you're talking about, can you clarify that? That's something that we are again exploring as well right now. I don't have concrete news on that. If you're talking about using multiple accounts from the same extension, so yeah, that's something that we are currently only exploring. But if you're talking about something else, do let me know, because Zoho Vault supports sync across multiple devices starting from our free plans. So even if you're just a free user of Zoho Vault, you can use Vault across multiple devices, and yeah, you can even access a Vault on an unlimited number of devices, store an unlimited number of passwords that not a lot many services offer at the moment. So yeah, I'll just quickly move on to the next question. All right, so Matt, I'm not quite sure about your question. Are you asking about shared folders appearing in the extension? I think they should probably already appear in your extension. I'm not sure why you have this issue, but can you confirm if you're not able to view shared folders from the extension? Is that something that you're currently not able to access? And Matt has a follow-up question. When will subdomain matching be introduced? So Matt, it already exists. So I'm not sure if you were able to check out the slide where we talked about subdomain matching as well. So just in case that doesn't clarify your question, let me know. Ensure that you have the autofill passwords on subdomains enabled from the settings tab. If even that doesn't work, do let us know. I'll probably take that feedback back to my team. Okay, I get your question now. I think you've followed up with that. Okay, so you're just trying to say that autofill does not work when there are multiple credentials saved for subdomains, for multiple subdomains. Thank you for bringing this up, Matt. I'll probably check this with my team. I'm not sure if this is the case. I'll just see if this is something that is currently not possible, and if it isn't, I'll ensure that I pass this feedback on to my team. Donna, if you're looking to access Zoho Vault, Zoho Vault's free plan, you can just go ahead and access it for free. But all other paid plans are something that you should probably purchase individually. Zoho Vault is currently available in two bundles, which are Zoho One and Zoho People Plus. These are the two bundles from where you can access Zoho Vault. People Plus's bundle includes Zoho Vault Standard Edition right now. But if you're not part of these bundles, you should probably subscribe to Zoho Vault. And our pricing plans are straightforward. We have a standard edition that costs $1. The professional edition costs $5 per user per month, and the enterprise edition costs about $8 per user per month. So if you subscribe to Zoho Vault on an annual basis, you will have further discounts that you can avail. And in addition to that, if you're looking to purchase Zoho Vault for multiple users, you can avail bulk discounts as well. So, yep, that's something that you can check out from a pricing page. Hey Vaibhav, the extension should indeed work from the incognito's windows. Can you confirm the version of your browser extension? Because we do support Zoho Vault's browser extension from the incognito window as well. It shouldn't happen because we do support our extension from the incognito tab. Just let us know uh, your current version of Google Chrome, as well as, if possible, do send a screenshot of the error message to support@zohoworld.com. That'll be really helpful for us. Okay, when do I get my master password? Ignacio, master password is something that's very unique to your account. When you create a new account, you'll be prompted to create something called the master password. Uh, think of this as the one password that locks up all the other passwords that you save in Zoho Vault. This is not created by someone else for you. This is something that's very unique to every user, regardless of them being a personal or business user. Every single individual must create a master password during account setup. So you can just try accessing vault.zoho.com, or if you're in the EU, you can just try accessing vault.zoho.eu. And I think you'll be prompted to set up your master password if you're very new to Vault, or if you've already accessed Vault before and you've forgotten your master password. If you don't have any password saved in Vault, you can reset the master password and access and create a new master password for your account. But if you already have something saved in Vault, if you hit forgot master password, all the personal passwords that you've saved in Vault would be cleared. So just a bit of a caution there. If you haven't set up your account, no big deal there. You can just access Vault's website. Uh, you can just log in and log into your Zoho account and set up your own master password. If not, follow the steps that I mentioned. You should be fine. Do we have plans for saving card details and autofill addresses and emails? Yes, Abe, we do indeed have plans to save personal details such as your addresses, your credit card details, and other stuff. You can very well uh, you can very well experience these new features in the upcoming quarters of this year. So this is something that's it's already in works, and we are working on helping people save more personal details. Right now, we have a very limited set of predefined categories. We're planning on increasing the numbers that will help people even further. So that's something that we're working on, and that's a very important part. That's a very important part of our plan for 2021. So yeah, that's something that we're already working on. And yeah, we're also working on a form autofills as well. So that's again something that's part of the plan for this year. So you can expect all the updates in the upcoming in the upcoming months. Hey Christian, yes, the presentation will be emailed to all the participants as well as the non-attendees as well. We'll be sending you a copy of this recording and the slide deck. So don't worry, we'll be sending it to you soon after the session gets over. And we've just got Christopher, our customer support representative, join the session as well. I guess you guys are already familiar with him. Hey Christopher, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks, Harry. Hello, everyone. So I believe everyone are doing good.
Thank you so much, Christopher. I think it's the right time to put one of the questions to Christopher. All right, Christopher, here's a question for you. I have heard that using web browser extensions for password managers is unsafe and vulnerable for hackers. Do you have any comments in regards to that?
So I believe, this is based on, some recent happening with the Lastpass password manager, I believe. So, but it is, maybe one of their customers would have, shared these thoughts, but it is not, something that we can, tell that will happen with all other password managers or all other password manager extensions. Even if you take Zoho Vault, we do not have any sort of applications to invoke or install extensions. So this is very hard, and we are also, have several, internal testings happening on a daily basis or periodically for Zoho Vault. So because this is a very critical service that we offer from our product, so which is completely into IT security tools. So I don't think this is something that's going to happen with our product, and it's highly not possible for Vault.
Thank you so much for that, Christopher. Sergio, I hope your questions answered. If you still have any doubts or if you still have any questions, you can feel free to reach us at support@zohovault.com. Just to add on to Christopher's point, we have a dedicated internal team at Zoho whose entire task is to ensure that, whose daily task is to ensure that they test every Zoho application rigorously. They call the red team. They work on finding every loophole in every Zoho's products. So that's something that we very seriously take hold of. We ensure that every product has this certain level of security that the customers aspire for, and we take customers' security and privacy very seriously. I hope that answers your question. I'll quickly move on to the next one. UD wants to know how UD can import information from other browsers. So if you have already saved passwords in browsers, you can very well go to your browser settings and export them. You'll be able to export passwords from different browsers, and if you log into your Zoho Vault application in the web, you'll see an option to import passwords from browsers. So we allow users to import passwords from various browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, Vivaldi, Brave, Opera, Edge, and all that. So you can just export all your passwords saved in these browsers. It should be very straightforward. I think you can probably hit a Google search for that. It should be very straightforward to export your passwords. Once you're done exporting these passwords, log into your Zoho Vault account and select the settings tab, and there'll be an option to import passwords, or even from your passwords tab there'll be an option called import passwords. So you can do all of these operations from the web app of Zoho Vault. So you can log into your Zoho Vault account from zoho.com and import all your passwords from these browsers. All right, moving on.
So Hari,
Yeah, please.
Sorry to interrupt you. So
Nope.
I just wanted to answer, one question that's from Vaibhav Arya. So about installing extension in the incognito window of the browser. So basically, Chrome does not allow users to install extension directly from the incognito window, but you can install extension from the normal window, and then you can enable a Zoho Vault extension for incognito mode. So once it is done, you can still browse from incognito and use the Zoho Vault extension to autofill passwords on incognito mode.
Hey, I hope the additional information is helpful as well. Thank you, Christopher. I'll just quickly move on to the next question from Michael. Hey, Michael. Yes, you can definitely store credentials in Zoho Vault. Even if they have two-factor authentications, you can very well store those credentials in Vault. But if you want to know if we can store the second factor of authentication, the codes that get generated, that's something that's not currently possible. But you can very well store the username and passwords of services that use two-factor authentication as well. We are also offering an app in Zoho called Zoho OneAuth. That's very similar to your Authy. You can use Zoho OneAuth for free. Zoho OneAuth is available for every Zoho user currently for free. You can download it from your respective mobile stores, and you can use that for your TFA as well. You can definitely store the credentials of accounts that have TFA enabled in Vault. But just clarify that question for me if you're looking for something more than that.
So I believe here the requirement is to store the OTP or the like TOTP along with the passwords, in the Vault. So which is currently not available in the product.
Yeah, so that's something that we're working on as well, and you can probably see that in the upcoming updates. TOTP is something that we are working on as well. Thank you so much, Viber, for sharing the screenshot with support. We'll definitely get back to you on that. All right, I think Matt wants to join us on audio. Let me see if I can just grant audio access to Matt. Hey Matt, just let us know if you can hear us.
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey Matt, hope you're doing well.
I am, thank you. Just the clarifications for my questions before with the shared folders, and I was actually, because my supervisor and I are chatting while this is going on, in the folders tab, you only see folders you own. You don't see folders that are shared with you. So with my team, we have our own shared folder, and then there are other teams that my supervisor shared folders with. I can't see the folder that's been shared with me in there. Now, if I go under passwords, I see every individual password in amongst all of the ones that I've already got as personal. But I can't distinguish in the folders tab that I have a shared folder to just quickly go through the folder tree that way. That was the one thing I was thinking about with the folders. With the subdomain matching, if you have, so we have quite a few services. So if you had like subdomain1.domain.org, subdomain 2, 3, 4, 5, when you go to log into any of those subdomains, every single subdomain password is showing up as a possibility. It doesn't just go, okay, it matches images.google.com. It's giving you every single google.com account instead of just images.google.com or photos.google.com. It's not matching specifically to subdomain in the extension. And I can share screenshots too. I'll send them through with support.
Matt, I just had a quick word with one of the developers of Zoho Vault, and I'm just hearing that this is a known issue and it'll be fixed in the 1.86 version. And the next version is available in about a week or so from now. So I think they should fix your issue. I'm just hearing about the subfolder issue where you're probably not able to view the shared folders. I think that's something that will be fixed in the upcoming version. And I just if you can hold on for about a week, I think you should be able to access that.
No, but I just wanted to bring it up just in case it wasn't known, and because so far I've been using the Chrome extension inside of Edge exclusively, and aside from just those couple of things with the extension, it's been working great. I've been noticing some differences between editing the accounts through the extension and editing the accounts through the actual overall main web interface. So I'll put that into the support request area of the website.
Thank you so much for that, Matt. And also, if you are looking to if you're looking for the extension to match exactly the same, if you're looking for the extension to match this domain exactly, we're also hearing from our developers that you probably must disable the subdomain matching option from the settings. Just see if that works for you. See if you can disable the autofill passwords on subdomain feature that we have, and see if that works for you, and let us know. I mean, if you find that helpful, let us know, or even if you still have the issue, do help us with a support request sent to support@zohovault.com, and we'll get to it right away.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Matt. All right, I'm moving on to the next question from Karthik. All right, Karthik wants to know about password generator for new form fields that wasn't working. And okay, I'll just project Karthik's question. Karthik, I just discussed about this earlier in the session. I'm not sure if you were present at that point, but I'll just recap what I just mentioned. So there's this option called Inactivity timeout that you can find under the settings tab of your browser extension. To see if you have set the extension to timeout very soon, you can set the inactivity timeout between 5 minutes and 1 week. If that is something that's stopping you from having frequent access to your passwords, if that's probably locking your extension very often, do tweak that and see if this is something that you can fix. I think it should help you address that issue. And one other thing is, every time you restart your browser session, you will be prompted to enter your master password. So that's something that we are trying to eliminate in the long run. We're just trying to see if we can help users log in through better ways. So we're exploring options right now for that. But if your browser session is active and you're still getting logged out of your extension, it's probably the inactivity timeout. So do give that a look. See if you've set a very minimal inactivity timeout and let us know. And about the password generator not working for form fields, can you add a bit more details about that? Can you specify what exactly isn't working, or if this was something that was previously, this was an issue that you previously faced? Can you just give us more details so we can address that?
So I believe this question is regarding to password generation during the sign-up process.
Okay. So, just give me a second so I can project the question again. Yeah. Just a second, Christopher. Yeah, go ahead.
So password generator for new form fields wasn't working great, which means like, so whenever you sign up for any website, so on the new form, so instead of you manually creating a password, so Karthik is expecting Zoho Vault to provide an option and generate a password on the sign up page. So this is something, it's in our roadmap. It is currently not available, but like at times when you see the vault option in the password field, you can use the generator stuff, or you can manually generate from the browser extension. There is a generator tab. So you can generate a password and then apply that manually. So these are the current options available. So as far as I know, this will be something that can be enhanced in the future updates or implemented in the future updates.
Thank you so much, Christopher, for that. Karthik, hope that answers your question. I'm really sorry we were not able to pick up your question earlier because we've got a lot of questions coming in. I'll quickly move into the next question from... Okay, it's not a question, it's rather a message from Brian. Brian, thank you so much for staying all throughout the session and letting us answer all your questions. And this is when we get to interact with all of you and get to know about all of your pain points that we can address in the next versions or the next updates as well. Thank you so much. Moving on. Just gonna project this question from Brett. If I'm the manager of 4 employees, each employee adds their own passwords. They're all work related, then how should I set up Vault so that I can access their passwords when they quit the company? Alright, so Brett, to answer your question, there's something called classification in Zoho Vault. Every time you add a password, we ask employees, not just employees, every user to specify if they're saving an enterprise password or a personal password. So when if your employees are using the new interface, by default, every password is saved as an enterprise password, and only if they select the mark as personal checkbox that you can find to the right bottom of your screen, it will become a personal password. So if you want your employees to, if you want to, acquire all the passwords, all the business passwords from your employees, advise them to save these passwords as enterprise. I mean, ask them to not do anything. Ask them to not tick the mark as personal checkbox, and you should be fine. By default, any super admin would be able to acquire all those enterprise passwords from their colleagues and other users involved. So if this is something that you would want to do, ensure that you request your employees to save these passwords as enterprise passwords. And if your employees have previously saved certain passwords as personal and they would like to switch the classification, they can do so as well. You can ask them to select all these passwords from the passwords tab, and if you click on this particular button called more actions, they'll be able to edit the classification of a particular password, and they can switch between enterprise and personal as well. So I hope that answers your question. I'll quickly move on to the next question from Krishnan. Can an option for passphrase generator be added? That's a really good feature request, Krishnan. I'll definitely pass this on to my team because this is something that even I feel would be great for users. I'll see if I can pass this on as a feature request to my team. Thank you so much for that suggestion. Do we have other questions left? John wants to know if we've answered Josh's question. I'm just trying to figure out if Josh has a question. Josh, have we answered your question? I hope we have. But just in case if we haven't... Sorry, Christopher, please go on.
I believe it was answered earlier.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Abhay wants to talk. I'm not sure if Abhay is still in the session. I'll just see if I can approve access for Abhay.
Hi, am I audible?
Hey Abhay, do you hear us?
Yeah.
Hey.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So one thing I have two Zoho accounts in between, one for my organization and one for my personal use. I use with multiple Chrome users. For that, what I have done that I have selected different password policies, like a custom password policy on both accounts. But when I enter a password, like if I am manually storing a password in Zoho Vault, for one account, it forces me to use that policy. Means if I have set that the set number of special characters in that password, so it forces me to use that n number of special characters, but in another account it doesn't forces me to do anything. So I guess it's a bug, but I will like share on detail with support email or Twitter, so you can understand it better.
Okay, Abhay, just to just to confirm, you're looking for an option that lets you override the password policy when you're trying to save a new password, right?
No. What happens that I have set the same password policy. I have created custom password policy within both my accounts,
Uh-huh.
and that password policy is same exactly. That's like some n number of characters, n number of special characters, and few here and there things, but the password policy is same on both accounts. But still, when putting a custom password inside a Zoho, like when we add custom password in Vault, like if we want to add any custom password, it forces me to use that policy on one account, and on another account it doesn't forces me to use that policy for saving passwords.
So it depends on the policy usage, Abhay.
Yeah, first I'm saying that I use the same policy, exact same policy,
Yeah,
copied
it's
this policy.
fine. If you don't mind, if you go to the, like in the problematic account where you cannot enforce
Right,
the password policy,
right.
if you go to settings, password policy option,
Okay,
on the top right, there is an option called policy usage.
okay,
So compare the policy usage configured in the working and non-working account.
okay,
So that causes the difference. Okay. So if it is enforced or if you choose allow users to select custom policy.
okay,
So if it is enforced or if you choose allow users to enforce password policy or
okay,
allow users to choose password policy. So at that time, whatever the policy that is selected as default or whatever the policy that is selected while adding the password, that is
okay,
enforced. If
okay,
you check the password policy set as default policy,
okay,
the
okay,
policy usage as use default policy, it will not enforce the default policy in the product. So it will just help the password generator to generate random passwords based on the default policy. So just compare this particular option in the working and non-working
yeah.
account.
Just log in
And
into both accounts. Yeah, find out that on one account it was like enforcing, and on second account it was just use default policy.
yeah,
So I guess
that's the difference.
that was causing the conflict. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you, Abhay.
yeah. Thank you.
Pat, we're so sorry that you're not able to hear the audios of other users. Um, I'm not sure why that's happening. I think other people can indeed hear us. I'm not quite sure. Maybe try refreshing your session. Anyways, I am quickly gonna run a poll about how well you like the extension, and if you still have any more feedbacks to share with us, you can use a poll to share them with us. Just quickly run a poll, and all your feedback would be sent to our team. If you have any new feature requests, if you feel that there are certain issues that we should probably take a look at, do give us your feedback and we will pass it on to our team. And if you're someone who's very new to Zoho Vault, you can explore the different plans in Vault, and you can just see which plan suits your needs better. And if you ever run into any issues, do feel free to drop an email to support@zohovault.com. And yes, do spread the word if you think this is something that your friends or your teammates would love. If they aren't already using a password manager, do educate them about the importance of password managers and maybe spread the word about password security as well. We run webinars almost on a monthly basis, and if you have regularly joined us before, you would know that we conduct different webinars about cybersecurity. We also educate our users on the importance of password safety as well. So yep, feel free to spread the word. If your organization isn't already using a password manager, do encourage them to adopt one, because the last thing that people would want right now in the middle of a crisis is some cyber threat to their organization, right? So yep, and yeah, we have a lot of major enhancements and bug fixes coming up in the version 1.86, as well as I had earlier mentioned, and I've also got confirmed with our developers. So the subfolder bug has already been identified. I think it was Matt who posed that question. So yeah, we are going to be fixing that in the next version. And yes, do keep your feedback coming. You can always be in touch with us by writing to support@zohovault.com, and we'll be super happy to take up your questions. Yes, we'll be sharing the presentation with each and every one of you. And yeah, you can share these materials with your friends as well. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining the session. If you have any final questions before we conclude this session, I'll be happy to take a couple more. If there are none, feel free to follow us on Twitter as well if you want real-time updates about a product, and if you would like some very cheeky tweets from our handle related to cybersecurity. And more importantly, ensure that you guys stay safe and follow all the government protocols during these difficult times. And I hope we get through this pandemic together in one piece. Thank you so much, guys. I think I'll end the session now. Stay safe, and we'll meet you very soon on another webinar. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, thanks to Matt and Abhay and all the other participants who joined us. And we'll meet you very soon.